No, we already showed the cam.
Not again?
We already showed that one. Just start the show.
Okay.
In case you were sleeping on last week, you're going to want to catch this week's episode.
You have got to catch this week.
With Mindy Sterling, who
we have the founder of the militant wing of the Salvation Army with us.
Yes. Welcome. How are you?
This may be search. I have actually a Polizei badge from the the German police. So
nice. That is nice. I could wear that as a pendant.
So last week we got a chance to talk about a lot about your acting career, how you got started, and this week I think I'd really like to focus more on the things that you've learned about your time in Hollywood and kind of you personally. So in terms of how to maintaining relationship, I'm going to just kind of dive right into this because Hollywood seems to be devastating for so many relationships, and I think there has to be an intentionality behind even being a good parent. So how were you able to balance being a mom and also acting at the same time in such a chaotic industry?
Well, I mean, at the time, when I first had my son, I wasn't working a lot. And so that kind of worked out beautifully for me. So I got to really spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah, I think important.
And then when my son was in school, you either had, if I went to work, I had a babysitter. I did have, at one point I was doing the Grinch.
Which we saw. That was awesome.
And so I did have to get a babysitter for him. So Kristen Wiig would come and she would pick Max up from school. And I mean, come on. So, so you just, you kind of, there are people out there that, I mean, I used to go into auditions like for commercials and I had my son in the stroller.
With you right there.
Yeah. He was such a good baby. He was such a good baby. Yeah. And I remember, a lot of people, whether somebody in the room will go, I'll watch him for you if you'd like. But I never really asked if I did know someone. And so once I went in there with him, and for the most part, he was really good. But I'll remember one day, and the casting director wasn't very nice. And someone we would, start shooting, he'd hear Max, kind of like, oh, or whatever, making the noise. And he'd go, oh, I can't have him in here, Mindy. I can't have him in here. Okay. But you find people that understand.
Yeah.
Because to this day, I mean, if I see somebody with a baby or a child or whatever, I'm, the first person to say, hey, you want me to help you?
Yeah, instantly. Like, hey, what can I do? What can I do?
Scott Parkins said he did that a lot with Miranda, and Miranda kind of grew up at the agency with other actors kind of watching her. And he's like, I just gave her art supplies and said, here, I hope you're okay. And then.
So I always had pens, paper, and stuff. Like, here, please be okay. It's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Just draw something.
Oh, yeah, because she's an incredible artist. So she had a hobby, and remember phones. And, I think at the time Max had, what did you have, Max? You had, what do you call this?
Game Boy.
Game Boy. Thank you.
Yes.
And those were like, that's all they want. You're not in there long enough.
Right.
Yeah. Very true. So how long did it take you to get ready in the Grinch and that makeup?
I think it was like 3 hours.
Ooh.
And maybe about an hour to get out of. But you had the makeup and then I had to have I know. But to me, the funniest thing is all of us sitting there with our noses and whatever we have, for lunchtime. And we're all just talking normally. And you don't realize you're looking at someone. It's like,
you have a little chunk falling off.
I was looking at that again and I'm like, wait, the baby Grinch was almost like the first baby Yoda.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
I was like plagiarized.
Yeah, because it was a it wasn't a real person, I don't think.
Right.
So you got to, we don't think, a very small person. He walks out of the back of him. Thanks, guys. It was a great day. A very small person.
Not many casting opportunities for Grinches. Right.
Well, the one as he grew up.
Yeah.
He was a little person and he has passed. Okay. But he was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to work with Jim Carrey then, obviously, a lot on that one.
He was you could tell he had there was a lot going on with him and he had to really concentrate on it. So he wasn't just playful.
No, I heard that outfit was terrible. From what the interviews I saw, he said it was just murder getting in and out of that thing every single day. So yeah, I got to act in a piece with him because I did some background acting for this, for his new series he was working on. And I got to skate on the ice and I was with him and they said, okay, talk to him and tell him, hey, Mr. Wiggles, and I said, I love you, Mr. Wiggles. And he's like, I love you too. And I was like, lifelong dream. lifelong dream.
That's so sweet.
The little child inside of me is like, yes. So it was pretty fun. Well, okay, next question.
How do you make a mark in like the very beginning of an audition? You don't want to be like everybody else, but what is your secret? What do you do?
I have no idea. That's my problem. I have a hard time learning the lines. So I go to somebody and he has a teleprompter, which has saved my life. And he has a teleprompter and he helps me. So I get out of my house. And so I don't have all the dogs and the phones, whatever. And I go somewhere just to a very calming place with this lovely man. His name is Jeff Pride. He's awesome. And we go over it and we blah, blah, blah. And I trust him. He knows who I am. He knows, the type of person I am. He knows. So he's very helpful, but not in a, don't do that. Oh, why don't we try this 1,000 times? Right. He doesn't do that. He just lets me be me and helps me and gives me these little things. And so I leave there going, all right, that wasn't bad. I mean, if I can say that about myself, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I said. One of the things we had an actor on the other day, Christian Howard, and he was talking. He said the hardest part about the digital submissions is that sometimes I'll do it again and do it again. And he said, where I'm doing a live audition, you get one chance, maybe two, and then you're done.
And you got that interactivity with the casting people too.
Yeah, so you can kind of see what they're doing.
See, that's what I think we miss too. We're going in blindly. I mean, you've
completely
got
blind.
For a role, you've got, they're looking at 20, 30 people. Okay. So you have to stand out. Well, again, I don't think that we all sit there going, what can I do to stand out? Because we're all different.
Yeah.
And I go into a room when we first were able to go in, and I would look in the room and we'd know each other. And these are brilliant women. Or if we don't know each other personally, we know of each other. So you get the same kind of amazing women. And I go, God, you guys are all so fucking great, but one of us is going to get it, and it's probably not going to be me. And so I think that going in and doing it live in person, yes, you have the casting person saying, good, now try it again. Maybe let's just smooth it out, or maybe she's not as stupid as she appears. Or maybe she's not as, so sometimes you just have those little things that are given to you. You're like, oh, okay.
Right.
And you hope that you do it again. They go, great, thank you. And then you're done. You're done. You're not supposed to think about it. You're supposed to take, the script and rip it up and all those things. And I remember early on in my career when I would go and I would always have something in my car for me when I got into the car to give me something in the car, like a cookie. I know this sounds so elementary.
Great.
You go and I would have that cookie. So I would eat that cookie and not sit there going, I hate myself. I would eat a cookie going, okay, you got the audition. You had to figure out what to wear. You had to get familiar with the copy. You had to drive on the 405.
You had to take the 405 and you made it.
You had to, but there's so much more that people don't realize what we go through.
Right.
And so I have to try to be better on myself and go, all right, okay, This wasn't your part. This wasn't your part.
Yeah. I've read that you've said, be good to yourself.
And I say that out loud all the time. So it's not to say that I don't beat myself up, but I have to remember that those are words that are so important. And I think most any actor, like even just watching last night when they all went, don't give up. It's coming. Whatever needs to happen to you is coming, but don't give up and don't give up. And I go from, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. And it's like, but there's nothing else I do. There's nothing else. I love teaching, but there isn't anything else. If you give me the right thing, I will shine.
Right.
If I struggle with something, it wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Yeah. I had something similar happen when I went through a divorce a number of years ago. My wife had left. I ended up doing the single dad thing for a little while, but I realized I was blaming myself for so much. And I started to do this thing where I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, I love you and I forgive you. And right. And but it gave me, I blamed myself. And if you continue that blame and you carry that, whether it's perceived or not, whether it's real or not, you're carrying a burden that is intolerable. And
well, I totally agree with you. And I am notorious for beating myself up. I'm notorious for taking the fault in things. I have a son who I take care of, primarily my son. And so when he's not having a good day or something's wrong, I'm to blame. And I blame myself for things. Just, I have to turn it around because those words or even the writing, they're so powerful for us.
Yep.
And so we have to say them out loud, write them down. I mean, we are, and especially right now in this horrible world we're living in. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful things and a lot of wonderful people, but you guys, there's a lot of crazy ass, nutty, scary, people that you are not going to get well. And I just have to we have to reinforce why we're here. What are we doing? It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to be on the 405 and go fucking crazy and get there on time. And you're right. Yes. They should sell. They should get
T-shirt. I want this T-shirt.
Now,
you're right. My brother has a T-shirt business, just to let you know.
We've been talking about how, in the creative life, things don't always go your way, or you might feel like you're going backwards or at a standstill for a while. You can beat yourself up during that time. You can listen to naysayers. But years ago, and Jason and I have talked about this, but we realized it's part of the process when you're going backwards. And the way my brain works, I was going through one of these times once and I was thinking, why is everything going backwards? What am I not doing? That kind of thing. And I started thinking about when I was a kid, these little cars that you'd pull backwards. And then when you let them go, they race. And I was thinking the backwards
They're going forward. Oh my God.
The backwards part's not the fun part. But you need to do it in order to race forward. And those times you need to feed yourself and work on yourself. And it goes beyond that. During the winter, the trees become dead. They look like they're dead, but they're healing and growing underneath with their root system.
You're
resurfacing. And even animals go into hibernation to regenerate. And so when you realize, I think that it's part of the process and it's there to give you time to prepare yourself for the next big thing, it's not as hard to go through.
That is so perfectly said and used. And I love the car thing. And it really is true. This business is just very, 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 very difficult. And whether you're a writer and you can't be seen because you're nothing and nobody, whether you're an actor, whether you're a dancer, whatever it is, it's just because we want it so much doesn't mean we can have it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can have it in different ways. And we should never feel regrets. That's the other thing, never want to feel, oh, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have, blah, 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 blah. And because that all made me who I am now, which the person I am now is pretty awesome. sometimes.
And
sometimes she's not. But you know what? This is all I have. This is all I have. And I know I'm a good person. And I came from a good family. And I have an incredible brother who lives out here who we're very close to. And
that goes back to gratitude, like you said earlier, just gratitude.
Gratitude is, I mean, just to say that I am so, because I live in Santa Monica, and there's, you know, when it goes down to the incline, on Santa Monica, and it goes, you know, into Pacific Palisades. Right. So I take that route a lot, and I go down the incline, and I see this ocean, and I'm like, I'm in paradise. I'm in paradise here. What do you have to be? What's the problem? So, you know, it does start like that. Thinking good, and again, I think it's also, we're going to have bad days and bad times. And I'm already, you know, calculating about my animals passing, and I'm going to lose it. Will I ever get through it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I can't think about it. I can't think about it. And so, you just have to it's okay to feel bad. It just can't take over your life.
Yeah.
And it is starting to, because I have anxiety. So I have, you know, I take a medication, and I still have anxiety. So because I think we all have anxiety because of what the world is giving us. Right. And I don't think just because you're in the business that you don't have anxiety being a teller, that you made a mistake, or being you know, I mean, there's so many things. So, you know, this just is louder than anything, because the possibilities can bring you such rewards, money, and who you are, and going to, you know, an award show and blah, 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 which I haven't been to. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not true, because I was, oh, did I tell you I was nominated twice? But,
no, this is, no, tell us.
It's in the past, but whatever. And so, but yeah.
You're all, I like the lie that drives me crazy is that I think it's something, this is where you have to win mentally, is they say you're only as good as your next project. And in film, it's like, that's great, you did these things, but you know what are you doing next? And I think I see people struggle with that terrifically. And I was saying the other day, Cam and I were talking, and I said negative energy is also a form of energy. And the other day, like last week, I was having a really crappy day, and I was so frustrated. I'm sitting here at my desk, and I said, you know what? That energy can be converted into something positive. So I stopped what I was doing, trying to get done. And I said, hey, I talked to my wife. I said, babe, is there anything on the house that you wanted to get done that we haven't done? Like, what do you want to do? And she's like, I want to paint this room. So I was like, let's do it. So we went and we got paint, and we worked on the bedroom. And then I said, let's go get some coffee. Let's go do something else. So that energy, I took something that was painful and frustrating and turned it into something that was positive and good. And I think it's like you said, it's a choice. And I like I don't remember which verse in the Bible it says, but he's, you know, God's talking to the Israelites, and he said, I lay before you blessings and curses. And a life and death. And he said, choose life. And I think that's that choice that you're talking about inside our head, is that I can speak negativity into my own life, or I can speak positivity. And how do I start that? And I think you hit it. It's gratitude. Just start speaking. I'm thankful for my health today. Like, I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful. It starts.
You do. And it starts from the moment you wake up. I got up. I woke up again. Yes, my allergies are driving me crazy today again. I don't know what's going on. But, I woke up. I'm alive. Yeah. I can still walk to get my coffee.
I get to be on Entertainment Dudes today.
I get to be on.
Yes. So, and I didn't
that was the real motivator. Let's be honest.
Oh, you better believe it. But I do, and I think that, like you said, it is. And and I have to be honest. I know a lot of people don't have, the people that are really, really sick, that mentally they just can't get out of it. They can't see. And those people need help, and we know that. So I don't want to ever say, stop it.
Right.
Just get out of it. I do that to myself. But then it's like, well, Mindy, now you're beating yourself up. Oh, stop it. You know better than this. Why did you do this? And so we don't want to hear that either. But so I do believe that people do sometimes need a little help, or friends. Friends are so important, you guys. Friends and family. I don't know what I would do without them.
Yeah, they're the sounding board, and then the support in times when you're not the best. Isn't it funny how with your best friends too, you're having an awesome day, and then that's when they're not, and then you can switch like this. And rarely am ever having a bad day when Cam's having a bad day. Like it's rare, and so he can call me, man, I'm having a day, and I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. What's up? What do you need? And then the same, I'll call the other to be like, dude, it's my turn.
See, and that's what makes your show so wonderful too, is how you guys work together, and the fact that you are like best friends, and that you are trying to share what you go through, what we go through.
Yeah,
and everybody's listening, whether they go, this is insane, or they take something, from it. I mean, I love that. I love, getting suggestions, or how do you get through your day, or when something horrible happens, or grieving, something that, like, I was grieving the loss of the Goldbergs because it was a good little gig for me. And it was like, okay, you didn't die. It's just a job. It's okay. It's okay. So, in talking to yourself, but making sure that you're talking to yourself in a kind way, because if we're not kind to ourselves, why should anybody else be kind to us?
So speaking of the Goldbergs, and sometimes I question my clothing choices, I want to ask you this question. I'm just.
How did you find that? Oh my God! That is Tim Lerner. He played my husband, and his real son played his son in the show. And the nicest guy, and the clothes that we wore.
I was actually, I was like, that
was him.
Sweater.
That's him wearing the sweater.
I have to take a picture. Wait, I have to take a picture. Wait, hold on a second.
I have never seen anybody else wear that sweater, and it would have popped up on the Goldbergs.
For good reason.
Like, oh my goodness.
For very good reason. It's like a psychedelic trip. Looking at your sweater, Cam. Don't ever wear this again.
I won't.
Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it.
Just yes. Okay. No, we're all going to wear something at some point, like a week later, and you go, why didn't you tell me that I look 100 pounds overweight? You never know.
I'm like, but at the time, could I really have talked you out of it? I mean, you love that.
Exactly. I love that sweater.
I love this sweater. If we were friends at the time, I would have saved you. So just so you know, you would never have had that photo.
Oh, we weren't. You probably would have saved me from the leather pants and all kinds of stuff.
Leather pants are cool.
Okay.
Nothing like sweating in a pair of leather pants.
Oh my gosh.
So guys.
Talk about too. I wanted to ask you about Grace and Frankie. Like Scott Parkin, our mutual friend, was on it. You actually were on it. What was it like working with Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, all those people?
Well,
such a great cast.
I just kept saying in my mind, I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm here. I'm doing a scene with them. It's just the three of us. Oh my God. Oh my God. And I would stare at them. And
they're like, action. I said action. Huh?
I don't know if you believe in these kinds of things, but if Harriet had a message from beyond.
I believe in them.
Harriet told me you would. And she'd tell you that this was not your fault. No, you changed her life.
We did?
Yeah.
Jane Fonda was very beautiful, wonderful. And, but all right, let's go. Let's get through the work. Let's rehearse it, blah, blah, blah. And sweet. Lily, what it does this to you. She's like, she just smiles at you, and she's soft-spoken, and she's so sweet. And so there's definitely a love and warmth from her.
Right.
And, I mean, that was a big, big deal for Mindy Sterling. That was, wow, these are two amazing women. And not only that they were amazing women, but that I got the part. I auditioned. I did something right.
Definitely. And apparently over your career, you've gotten the part many times. Parts, so
right? You don't know. It may not be all the ones that I want.
Yeah.
But, that's, but, again, I mean, hopefully, there'll be more things coming, and and I'll do more voiceover stuff, and
wonderful. And it looks like you've got a few things coming up as well. We looked on IMDb. It looks like we've got When We Get There. Is that a project you're working on?
Oh, that's what I'm doing with William Catt.
Okay, that's the William Cat one. Is there anything you can tell us about that, or is it still top secret?
So yeah, and it's a cute little scene. And my question was, can I improvise? And they said yes. I said great. And so I don't know. I think it's a lot of unknowns, like young people, but there may be other people I just am not privy to. So I'll let you know as soon as I get more info.
Well, what would be a dream role for you? An idea of something that if you could make your own role, what would it be?
Wow. You know, I don't know. I really don't know. I did this great little short film. I'm surprised you didn't find.
Mental note.
I played a grandmother, a schizophrenic grandmother who didn't want to take her meds.
Call your doctor once we leave.
Oh, you don't miss a beat, do you?
And so in the part, you know, in the first part, I'm normal and I'm dancing with my granddaughter, and my daughter's like, "Mom, you got to take your pills." "Oh, I'm fine." "No." So I take them and and there's like a birthday party, and then they go out, and then they're supposed to come back to pick me up because I made the cake. And when she comes back, I'm sitting in like my bra and underwear, and I'm sitting like at the table, and I'm just, you know, I'm just completely, nothing's happening. And all of a sudden I start get paranoid and, you know, and started hearing things and all that kind of stuff. And I run out, and it's a real story of her mother and her grandmother. And so something like that was very intriguing to me.
Yeah. And
I love short things because they're short. And
you're like, and I'm done, and I go home. And
I mean, I would love to do something dramatic, something really good that's dramatic. But I don't know. There isn't anything that, you know, that is like that sits on me like, oh my God, I can't wait to play Eleanor Roosevelt or
yeah, right.
No, it's okay.
So what's one thing you would tell, and it can be to somebody new in this business, or it can be to people who have been in it for a long time. What's the one big piece of advice you would give someone to, you know, make it in the business, or be okay with what they're doing, or, you know, whatever?
Well, again, I think it's you know, take classes and just, you know, keep yourself busy, and also just be good to yourself, be kind to yourself. I think that's the thing that we desperately need to remember, that we are a human being, and there's a lot of people in this business that want to do the same thing that you are doing. Yeah. And we all can't get the same parts, and we all can't. So if you're a writer, write. If, you know, a lot of people are trying to do that, and that's not easy either. So anything that I tell people in the business is not going to be easy. And, you know, and when I hear kids say like, oh, I want to, you know, not kids, but young people say, well, I just want to be famous. And they go, okay, wrong reason to get into that business.
Real. Yep.
You know, and what does that mean to you? What is it? You know, so they're caught up in stars and not with the work. And I got into it in, I think 6th grade was my first play. And I thought, I was kind of shy in school. And I thought somehow I got into the theater and I went, oh my God, you can be someone else. And that was like, you know, my tribe. I found my group. I found silly, fun, hardworking. And I loved what we got to do there. And so it's got to be like, there's nothing else I really want to do.
I think that's a blessing that you found it that early on, because a lot of people do what they love when they're kids. You know, the play I look at as, I believe Mr. Rogers said it, it's the work of childhood. But a lot of people get caught up in life, and then they move on to something that they didn't have the dream about when they were a child. And then when they retire or do whatever, they finally go back to what they did as a childhood and back to their original calling. A lot of times people do that in a second career or whatever. So,
well, you have people too that really want to do something, but, I have a family. I have to make money.
Yeah.
You know, I have to do this. And so you could tell, I've always wanted to be a dancer and try, but, and so then do it for yourself. So, you know, I did a lot of small theater. I love theater, you know, but just getting to that place when I first came out here in my 20s, I did community theater. And so you just do anything because you're going to meet people along the way that can offer you something, or you should go to this class, or you should do. That's how I found out about the Groundlings. Somebody said, "Oh my God, Mindy, you're so funny. You should go to the Groundlings." So you don't know. So it's being open in that place that you have to be at that particular time. But don't I always say, or I think about people that I really wanted to do this. I wonder if I would have had a career, but I had to take care of my family. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That is where you had to
choice,
go.
Right.
So go go take classes.
Yeah.
It's okay. You know, I find that much more interesting to want to take care of your family, or that your mother was sick for years and you had to come on.
I think I've seen a lot of people delegitimize smaller projects too, even though it brings you joy. Like if you do a short film and only, 10,000 people see it on Instagram or whatever, on YouTube, why is that any different than what you've created if 2 million people see it? Like why does that number matter in our heads to make it significant? Oh, now this one matters and this one didn't. Why? Like how many lives did you cut by this?
Yes, exactly. And I think, maybe I'll just either get discovered, or maybe someone, but you never know who's going to see it. There are people that, I'm a big TV watcher, so there are lots of things I watch and go, oh, who is this guy? He's awesome. Oh, he's British. Oh my God, I've never seen him.
Yeah.
My God, we have this project. You don't know. I've had people, go, oh my God, I'm watching television. And then all of a sudden, who do I see? And it's me doing something that I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I didn't think that was going to come out.
And there it is.
So you don't know. And so.
Why'd you turn off the TV, Mom? Oh, we got stuff to do.
Oh, God. Yeah. It's so, yeah, you just really, it's tough, I'm glad my son tried to do stand up a couple of years ago, and I got to tell you guys, he was really funny because he had a different point of view. He came from the autistic world. His story and his experiences were so funny, and how he put them together. And he went to, open mic night for a couple of times. And he says, just too hard. It's too hard. His soul wasn't into it. And it's very hard.
Oh,
and I said, look, Max, I've never done stand-up. So what you did and what you accomplished, and the fact that you were funny, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it can be brutal. That one's, I think, real brutal. You get instant feedback about whether you suck or not. Like,
and it depends on the audience. Like,
the audience can really blow.
One audience is like,
Absolutely. It's they're rude, they're wonderful, they're like, you just never know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Well, man, it's been so wonderful having you on the show. We've come up to our hour, time, and so it's been a blessing.
You guys are really great.
Thank you.
You guys are really great. You put together some of the best reels I've ever seen. You are.
Which we're going to give you, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough. Really lovely. And those are things that my son will delight in when I'm dead. And
so 100 years from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. But I would love, and please, let me know how I can contact you or what I can do. And I'll tell you when I find out the schedule and when I'm in it, to have you come by and see the show. And yes, I'd love to do that. But thank you for chatting with me and opening up and sharing so many wonderful thoughts and stories and letting me share my stuff. So I appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
This has been an honor. Can we get you as Frau real quick to say, this has been Entertainment Dudes?
Yes. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Yes.
Hello, this is Frau Farbissina. And this is Entertainment Dudes! Go!
I think that was just the favorite part of my entire life.
I love the fact that I have made it in the world of just telling. And I used to when I would and I still do it with my son. and we're driving. We go into the garage of my apartment complex, and and I just stop and I just look at him and I'm like, get out! And God loved him. He still laughs.
Hey.
So one quick question, since we brought up Frau, how did the yelling bit come about? Like, was that scripted, or did you improv it, or what?
It said she yells.
Okay.
And that's my yell. Because when we yell, our voice goes up higher.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Well, I have this, deep voice. I have a little voice. And then the minute you yell, it's like, hello. Turn it down. It just
I think I would probably go through life and even order that. What would you like to eat, please? Give me a steak. I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I was speeding.
Not another ticket. Wait, really quick though. I was driving with a friend, and I got pulled over. And the one guy, he comes over and he says, and I go, oh, I think I maybe turned wrong or something anyway. And he was like, all right. And he takes all my information. And then there's this guy on this side, and I look and he goes, are you? And I go, yes. And I said, so is there anything you can do? And he goes, I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm sorry, you still get a ticket. And then that's when you scream at him.
But he was but this guy, his partner was like, like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And then this was, all right, thank you. Be careful.
Yeah, this guy's like, check
They're probably in the car, and he's like, do you know who we pulled over?
I know, yeah, they talked about me, and it's like,
he's like, that's why we pulled her over. I told you it was her. I'm glad we pulled her over.
Yes.
Who are we gonna pull over next?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
They're literally like those former Starbus tour guys that became cops so they can pull over people. There's the show.
That's it. Oh, that's great.
That would be Chris Farley, I think, and David Spade that would be my cast for this series.
Get it to them. Give them the suggestion.
That's so funny. Well, wonderful. Man. Thank you so much. So if you hang out in the lobby, we'll wrap up the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll stay on the line for a little bit, and we'll wrap this up. All right. Man, so great. This was an honor.
I know. This is like, I look at pitching myself. This is real life. This is entertainment dudes.
This is entertainment dudes. That was so some great advice and insight there.
I really like what she said just about being kind to yourself. It's so incredibly important because, you have that judgmental voice in the back of your head where you're always judging everything you've done. Either that or you're a narcissist and you love everything you've done. But then you have the other side, right? Who's like, there's those challenges. And just as you do this process, whether you decide to go into film or you're already in film or not, just remembering that process is that the fact that what you're creating is not just you creating it, it's a collective. It's all of us together building something that we're hoping to leave for the future. And I think the less we focus on just ourselves and the more we focus on impacting and caring for the people that are around us, we're going to have an improvement. And I notice that the times during my day when I'm beginning to care about others and I'm shifting the focus from myself to other people, it really changes. And I think I noticed this, like if you look in a window, outside of a window, you see the outside. But the moment if you paint black over the outside of that window, that becomes a mirror.
Right.
And so the more that you're blaming yourself for stuff and you're painting the outside of that window, the more you're turning your window, which sees the outside world, into a mirror where all you see is yourself.
Wow.
So I think that's the time of beginning gratitude, being thankful, and starting to pull some of that black off so you can begin to see outside and look at other people. And that starts with, I really think, being kind to yourself and loving yourself so that you can then better love other people. So this has been an exciting episode of Entertainment Dudes. Check us out on YouTube, or you can just follow us at watch.entertainmentdudes.com. And if you want some merch, you can go to merch.entertainmentdudes.com, where you get a picture with a shirt with Cam and my picture on your shirt.
Or without.
Don't do it without.
If you don't want our faces on the shirt, we can do this as well. So
yes, I guess there is that.
And then we've got one with just my face on it. So that's a good one too.
There you go. Okay,
this has been Entertainment Dudes. Let me just put this up here at the end.
That's entertaining. That's really, really entertaining.
That's really entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
It is.
Look at that. You can follow this here to check out some more awesome content. You're really gonna like this. Yeah, the left. See the left there?
The left there. Those are videos you need to.
You probably need to. Now. You probably need to click on that.
Now.
Do it.
Now.
Hey.